So this is, of course, from Pew Research. This was published in 2023, very recent. But this is just to show the Black community that this 50-50 conversation is stupid. And we need to stop having it, because everybody's probably looking at us crazy. Like, why is the Black community arguing about certain things that we do on a regular basis when we're married to our, counterparts? Okay. So if you guys look at the top there, and this is explained as clear as possible, which is how I do everything when I put out all this statistical information. And I quote, Black wives are significantly more likely than wives from other racial or ethnic groups to be the breadwinner in their marriage, end quote. The reason why I started with that is because that is how it is exactly written in the article. And also that green actually stands out to people in the Black community and gets them to read, because they'll see this and they're like, oh, Black wives are killing Black men in one of these particular areas. But when you read a little further, right under that, it says today, roughly 1 in 4 Black wives, 26%, out earn their husbands. So what did that tell you? So like I said, this is from Pew Research. So if I just told you 26% of Black wives out earn their husbands, then that means that 74% of Black men out earn their wives. And you guys are probably questioning, well, where did you get that number from? When the Black man is the husband and he is the primary sole breadwinner, that's 40% of the Black marriage dynamics. So black husband, primary or sole breadwinner. Primary, it simply means that he earns over 60% of the household income, which essentially is a woman working part-time. And then sole breadwinner is he makes 100% of the income in the married household. That is 40% of all Black marriages, which means the Black man makes more. Egalitarian marriage, both the wife and husband earn between 40 and 60% of the couple's combined earnings. Okay? This is essentially the 50-50 dynamic. It is at 34%. Now, let me explain what's going on here. Because when I said 74% of Black men out earn their Black wives, you probably like, well, why? It's only 40% and the rest is 50-50. It's because of the fact that when couples go 50-50, the man tends to earn more, about $2,000 more. On average, across all races, it is at $62,000 to $60,000. All right? So the man's $62,000, the woman's $60,000. So even in an egalitarian or 50-50 relationship, the husband still earns more, which is why 74% of Black husbands earn more than their Black wives. Okay? Let's continue. Now, right there at the bottom, primary, Black wife, primary or sole breadwinner. Black woman makes more. That is 26%. Okay? So in 26% of all Black marriages, the wife makes more. So again, even if you remove the egalitarian, because that may seem like cheating to the Black community, because you guys are saying, well, we don't know if that's true. Just look at the Black man being the primary sole breadwinner. It's 40%. So that's a 14% difference in Black marriages. So when people talk about this foolery about Black men not being able to meet the standards of Black women because the Black community is under the impression that Black women are earning more, it's not true. Okay? And like I said, this will be updated very shortly. I put all the links in the description if you guys want to look at it. And, for everything that I do in regards to these statistical dumps, I explain it very clearly. And if you don't understand it, you can either, make an appointment for a consult, or you can push the links to learn more. And I know that seems to be a little bit tough, because I've been getting a lot of emails from people like, well, where'd you get that information from? I didn't understand it. And then honestly, I hate to be crass, but it makes you look ignorant. If you send in an email asking me questions, when I put the links in the description so you can learn for yourselves. Or you could schedule a consult and we could discuss it there. If not, I'm just going to assume that you're trolling because you're not willing to pay for my services, or you're not willing to read on your own. Okay, so which one is it? Make sense? So almost 1 in 5 stay-at-home parents in the U.S. are dads. So that's how they draw you in. A greater share of dads are stay-at-home parents than today than 30 years ago. Stay-at-home parents, 26%. All parents, 18%. Stay-at-home fathers, 7%. Either full-time or part-time, the wife works in 74% of all marriages. That's not just for the Black community, even though all the numbers, the percentages add up, 26% to 74%. Out of all marriages, the wives work in some form or fashion at 74% of the time, either full-time or part-time, which means that only 26% of women are afforded the opportunity to be fully stay-at-home mothers. Now, I know the narrative in the Black community is that all these other races of women are able to stay at home and flourish and raise the children, and they don't have to work. The only community that makes their women work are Black men. It's false. So again, if you're, in honesty, I'm talking to both Black men and Black women. If you're a Black man flaunting the fact that you are able to take care of your wife 100%, congratulations, brother. You are the minority. You consider that a flex? Okay, fine. We in the same position. But I just want you guys to know that the majority of everybody else, including Black people, the wife works in 74% of the marriages. So again, speaking to the Black men, I know that you guys like to get into these conversations and you like to virtue signal to the women. My wife ain't never worked. Again, congratulations. You are the minority. So there's no need to shame other Black men for not necessarily making their woman work, but doing something that is normal for all communities of every race. Black women have always worked. White women have always worked. Asian women, Hispanic women, always worked. But for some odd reason, social media gets a hold of these talking points and y'all asses looking stupid out there while everybody else is building generational wealth and we stuck in the mud fighting amongst each other about 50-50. It's normal. If you're one of these Black women that are sitting out there saying that you don't want to stay at home, but I know the dynamic, you guys want to work, but you want to keep your money and the man pays all the bills. That's not going to happen, okay? If it does happen, you are the minority, and that guy is probably a simp. It is what it is, because I'm getting sick and tired of people coming out here, especially in the Black community, talking about this shit and making it seem like you're doing something better than the next man. Everybody works, okay? 3 out of 4 people, households, both people work. So you ain't doing nothing special, brother. Go ahead and take your little win if that's what you want to call it. And, go on about your day. No need to be calling names or virtue signaling to the women in the chat. See, that's a real man. And you sitting there like, King Arthur or something on your throne, acting like you did something. Brother, okay, we want to see how the finances turn out and how y'all build generational wealth. Congratulations. But that's not the majority. All right? All right, so let's get off this. I do have another one. I broke it down. I want to show you guys this one too. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is it. Yeah. So let's take a look at this one real quick. So I broke it down in simpler terms. So the percentage of opposite sex marriages with each type of earnings arrangement. So at the top there it says husband sole breadwinner, has all of the household earnings, wife has no earnings. That is 23% of marriages. Man makes more, okay? So when the husband is the sole breadwinner, 100% of the funds, 23% of all marriages. When the husband is the primary breadwinner, that means he earns more than 60% of the couple's combined earnings. That is 31% of all marriages. Again, man makes more. So if you add those two numbers together, that comes out to 54%. So in 54% of all marriages, men outright earn more than their women, their wives. Egalitarian. Both the wife and husband between 40% and 60% of the couple's combined earnings. That is 29% of the marriages. 50-50, okay? Wife, primary breadwinner, earns more than 60% of the couple's combined earnings. That is 10% of marriages. Wife makes more. For wife is primary breadwinner, 60% of the income, which means the man is working part-time. 10% of the marriages. 10% of the marriages, the wife makes more when she is a primary breadwinner. So you couple that, or you compare that to husband primary breadwinner, that is 31%. So that's a 21% difference. But then when you go down to wife sole breadwinner, which means she has all of the household earnings, husband has none, that is 6% of marriages. Okay? Compare that to men when they are the sole breadwinner. That is 23%. That is a 17% difference, ladies. Okay? So even though women are making great strides in regards to their earnings, they're still earning less than men. And that's just not in the labor market. That's also in marriages. But when you have two incomes combined, it is much easier to build generational wealth, which seems to be something that the Black community, a phrase and a term that the Black community has been stuck on, but you guys aren't putting anything into practice, because having these dumbass 50-50 conversations over and over again is not going to help. Okay? Start looking at the statistics, do the research for yourselves, click the links, because like I said, I could be lying. So you might as well go ahead and check the link, read it all for yourself, just so you're clear. All right.